Hi, Eric Lanask here. We're at ITEXPO in Las Vegas. I'm talking this afternoon with Inmarsat's Kevin Maher. Kevin, thanks for joining me. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So, we just got off of an exciting keynote listening to Steve Wozniak. What'd you think?
I was thinking that up until the bit where he mentioned creating $1 billion company, he could have been talking about me. Similar sort of youth spent with electronics. It was excellent. Very good.
Well, I think those billion and multi-billion dollar opportunities are ones which we'd all be very interested in exploring. But there is a huge opportunity in front of companies like Inmarsat in the M2M space.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one of the reasons for us being here is to showcase what we do and to share that we have a vision that we can play a very big part in connectivity for the Internet of Things.
So as a satellite player, what is that role that satellite's going to play in M2M?
Well, our satellite network is a geostationary Earth orbit satellite network. Many of the others are low Earth orbit, so they're different characteristics. But our satellite network is effectively a 3G network, which is something that not many people are aware of, but it's a 3GPP compliant network, and many of the connectivity services that we can offer over that are very similar to those that cellular carriers offer, but on a more global basis.
So what's the benefit in the M2M world?
Well, in the M2M world, my belief is that not one technology, wireless technology, will prevail. In order to get that connectivity out there and let the Internet of Things really take off, it's going to be a multitude of different wireless technologies, and satellite is one of those. So we need to coexist in that ecosystem, and we have a roadmap to develop our capabilities and our products and services so that we can play a much more active role in that ecosystem.
Why does satellite have such a huge opportunity over some of the other wireless carriers?
Well, we're already quite active in the M2M space. We've been deploying M2M solutions for quite some time now, and the satellite network is very much geared towards M2M type applications, and within that environment there are a number of advantages that we offer over cellular networks, for example, or other wireless technologies, in that we do have that global reach. We are a single network globally, and that's another advantage. Traditionally in M2M applications, when you move from location to location or region to region, you start to roam on different networks, and they are different networks. Our satellite network is one single network, one network management system, and one SIM.
Is there enough of a demand currently for companies like Inmarsat to be able to truly and effectively monetize the M2M opportunity?
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing a huge increase in the demand for M2M. We have an existing partner infrastructure and indirect sales channel who currently serve our M2M customers. We're seeing increasing demand from that. We're seeing an increasing demand from potentially new partners in the space, in the mainstream M2M space, which is predominantly driven by cellular type connectivity. But there is a demand for those areas where you can't get terrestrial coverage and you need the satellite coverage, or you need the reliability that a satellite network brings. So yes.
Talk to me about some of the vertical markets where you're seeing a lot of traction.
Sure. Well, traditionally we've been very active in the oil and gas industry, so oil and gas pipelines and that sort of thing. The maritime industry has traditionally been a very strong sector for Inmarsat.
Where you can't get the terrestrial coverage.
Exactly, and that's where we kind of started in that area. But we're looking at lots of different sectors, the automotive sector, high asset tracking, e-health, pretty much the sectors that the rest of the industry is looking at.
How quickly do you foresee some of those areas growing? Is there any particular sector out of the ones you mentioned that you see growing faster than others?
Asset tracking is a very high growth area for us at the moment, so we're seeing a lot of demand in that area. Energy, oil and gas growing quite a lot, and e-health is growing quite quickly.
Well, certainly, I think healthcare is one of those markets that's looking for every technological advantage, every way to provide better care.
And the benefit of satellite coverage is that developing countries and emerging markets that don't have that wireless connectivity there, well, we can provide that because traditionally we've been in those places providing communications.
So you just bring up a very, very good point in that the satellite industry has a huge opportunity and has the benefit of being able to extend a lot of the great technologies that in the developing market we're becoming very used to out to developing countries.
Absolutely, and we see ourselves coexisting with other types of other technologies.
Does a similar cost model work in developed countries as in developing?
It does. The satellite industry is a little bit different from, say, the cellular industry. The cellular industry is based around, on the M2M side, large numbers of devices transmitting small amounts, or relatively small amounts of data. Traditionally, the satellite networks have been smaller numbers of devices transmitting higher amounts of data. But that's changing, and when we recognize the fact that that is changing, and we're changing our product development to meet that requirement. So the cost models are quite similar.
What can we look forward to from Inmarsat in the coming years?
I think you will see Inmarsat playing a much bigger role in providing connectivity to not just remote locations, but even in traditional areas where we've probably not been very active in, like urban areas and what have you. We have a number of products that we're developing internally with partners that should help us address markets that we've traditionally not been perceived as being strong in. So there's a lot happening.
Good. Just to wrap up, tell me a little bit about what was your experience like here at M2M Evolution?
I thought it was great, and I do definitely sense we're reaching that inflection point that everyone's been talking about for years with an M2M. I think it's becoming a reality, and it was very good to see a wide representation, not just from cellular carriers, but from satellite companies and other players in the ecosystem that are all starting to recognize now we're hitting a very interesting point where we all now need to start working together and really making this happen. So I can sense that level of energy now that's there.
And that typically changes and encourages even further conversation.
Absolutely, and we've had a tremendous couple of days on with the exhibits, many people coming to talk to us. It's been good.
Excellent, great to hear that. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Eric Lanask here in Las Vegas.